Hi, good evening. It is the Ides of March, and we are reading Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare uh, because it's the Ides of March. So, if you're just now joining us for the first time, we get together every couple of weeks and we just have fun reading Shakespeare together over Zoom. You'll see people wearing many different hats, literally, as we change characters. And we are very grateful for the support of Montfort Park players for letting us use their Zoom. So please go check out their summer season. They have plans for COVID-safe summer season. And I think that's about it. So we'll go ahead and have everyone introduce themselves.
Hi, I am Esha Sarai, and I am playing Caesar, and a few acts after I'm stabbed to death, I will also play Dardanius.
Spoilers.
I'm Gina Pauratore. I'm playing CALPURNIA, POPILIUS LENA, Plebeian, and MESSALA.
My name is Matt Wade. I'll be playing Marcus Brutus.
My name is Mandy Bean, and I will be playing Portia, the Cobbler, and Lucilius. Oh, we'll skip over Nana for just right now. She had to go take care of something, so just move on.
My name is George Hurd, and I'll be playing FLAVIUS, CASCA, LEPIDUS, VOLUMNIUS, and Cato.
Hi, I'm Jason Williams, and I will be playing Caius CASSIUS.
I'm David Broshar. I'll be playing Cinna the poet, and Octavius.
Hey, I'm Danielle King, and I'll be playing Pindorus, the soothsayer, Caius Ligarius, Strato, second plebeian, and a servant.
Metal December is going to be played by Scott Bean, which is my husband, who is taking care of our children right now. I'm going to go get him when it's time to read those lines. So that'll be played by Scott Bean.
My name is Haven Volpe, and I'll be playing Titinius and Trebonius.
My name is Tom Griffin. I'll be playing Mark Antony and Marcus Tullius Cicero.
Also, I will introduce Nana for her since she had to step away. Nana Hosmer-Griffin will be playing Lucius, Artemidorus, a servant, Clitus, and Decius Brutus. And I think that's everything. So give me 1 second because I just remembered that I am now in the first scene. That wasn't happening before, and now it's happening. So, all right, awesome. We are going to get started. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this reading of Julius Caesar.
Hence, home, you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? What, know you not, being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a labouring day without the sign of your profession? Speak, what trade art thou?
Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler.
But what trade art thou? Answer me directly.
A trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls.
What trade, thou knave, thou naughty knave, what trade?
Nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me. Yet if you be out, sir, I can mend you.
What meanst thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow.
Why, sir, cobble you.
Thou art a cobbler, art thou?
Truly, sir, all that I live by is with the all. I meddle with no tradesmen's matters, nor women's matters, but withal I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. When they are in great danger, I recover them. As proper men as ever trod upon neat's leather have gone upon my handiwork.
But wherefore art thou not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome, to grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels? You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things, oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Knew you not Pompey, Many a time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have set the livelong day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And do you now put on your best attire? And do you now cull out a holiday? And do you now strew flowers in the way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Be gone. Run to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light on this ingratitude. Go, go, good countrymen, and for this fault assemble all the poor men of your salt. Draw them to Tiber banks, and weep your tears into the channel, till the lowest stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all.
Calpurnia.
Here, my lord.
Stand you directly in Antonius' way when he doth run his course. Antonius?
Caesar, my lord.
Forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia. For our elders say the Baron, touch it in this holy chase, shake off their sterile curse.
Oh, I shall remember. When Caesar says, do this, it is performed.
Set on and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar!
Ha, who calls? Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than all the music cry, Caesar! Speak, Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March.
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me, let me see his face.
Fellow, come from the throng. Look you upon Caesar.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Will you go see the order of the course?
Not I.
Pray you do.
I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love that I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which gives some soil perhaps to my behaviors. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number Cassius be you one, nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus with himself at war forgets the show of love to other men.
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried the thought of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eyes sees not itself, but by reflection by some other things.
'Tis just. And it is very lamentable, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see yourself, your shadow.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you would have me seek into myself for which is not in me?
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself as well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet not know of. And be not jealous on me, if you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard and after scandal them, then hold me dangerous.
What means the shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for the king.
Aye, do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so.
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me, as I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had lief not be as to live to be in awe of such a thing as myself. I was born free, as Caesar was. So were you. We both have fed as well. We can both endure the winter's cold with as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said unto me, Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me to this angry flood and swim to yonder point? Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. And so indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere he could arrive at the point proposed, Caesar cried, Help me, Caesar! Help me, Cassius! I sink! I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of the Tiber did I the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god. Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body if Caesar carelessly but nod to him. You gods, it doth amaze me a man of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone.
Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at some times are the masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar, what should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together, yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become of the mouth as well. Now, in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed that he has grown so great?
That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this, and of these times I shall recount hereafter. For this present I would not, so with love I might entreat you be any further moved. What you have said I will consider, what you have to say I will with patience hear, and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions at this time is light to lay upon us.
I am glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus.
Games are done, and Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath proceeded worthy note today.
I will do so, but look you, Cassius. The angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like a chidden train. Calpurnia's cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferret and such fiery eyes as we have seen him in the Capitol, being crossed in conference by some senators.
Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonius.
Caesar.
Let me have men about me that are fat. Sleek-headed men and such as sleep at nights, yond Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter, but I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid. So soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much, he is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays, as thou dost, Anthony. He hears no music. Seldom he smiles, and smiles in a sort as if he mocked himself, and scorned his spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease, whiles they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is deaf, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him.
You pulled me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
Aye, Casca. Tell us what hath chanced today, that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand, thus, and then the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second note for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, marry was, and he put it by thrice, every time gentler than other, and at every putting by, mine honest neighbours shouted.
Who offered the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It were mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown. It was not a crown neither. 'Twas one of those coronets. And as I told you, he put it by once. But for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again, and he put it by again. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by, and as still as he refused it, the rabblement hooted and clapped their chopped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps and offered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that it had almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But soft, I pray you. What? Did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace and foamed at mouth and was speechless.
'Tis very like he hath the falling sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not. But you and I and honest CASCA, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down. If the tag-rag people did not clap him and hiss him according as he pleased and displeased them, as they used to do the players in the theatre, I am no true man.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Marry, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me ope his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. And I had been a man of any occupation, if I would not have taken him at a word, I would I might go to hell among the rogues. And so he fell. When he came to himself again, he said if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, alas, good soul, and forgave him with all their hearts, that there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, he would have done no less.
And after that, he came thus sad away?
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye. He spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I tell you that I'll ne'er look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news too. Marillus and Flavius, for putting scarves off Caesar's image, are put to silence. Fare you well.
Will you sup with me tonight, CASCA?
No, I am promised forth.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, if I be alive and your mind hold, and your dinner worth the eating.
Good. I will expect you.
Do so. Farewell, both.
What a blunt fellow is this grown to be. He was quick-mettled when he went to school.
This rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men's stomach to digest his words with better appetite.
And so it is. For this time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you, or if you will, come home to me, and I will wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble, yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet that the noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. And if I were Brutus now, and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. I will this night in several hands in at his windows throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings, all tendering to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambitions shall be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him or worse days endure.
Good even, Casca. Brought you Caesar home. Why are you breathless? And why stare you so?
Are you not moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? O Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scalding winds have rived the knotty oaks and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with the threatening clouds, but never till tonight, never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction.
Why? Saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you know him well by sight, hold up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I had not since put up my sword. Against the Capitol, I met a lion who glazed upon me and went surly by without annoying me. And there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say, these are their reasons, they are natural. For I believe they are portentous things unto the climate they point upon.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time, but men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Come Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow.
He doth, for he did bid Antonius send word to you he would be there tomorrow.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
A Roman.
Casca, by your voice.
Your ear is good, Cassius. What night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens menace so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting unto the perilous night, and thus embraced, Casca, as you see, have bared my bosom to the thunderstone. And when the cross-blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself even in the aim and the flash of it.
But wherefore did you much tempt the heavens? Is it the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods by token send such dreadful heralds to astonish us?
You are dull, Casca, and those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want, or else you use not. You look pale and gaze and put on fear and cast yourself in wonder to see strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause why all these things change from their ordinance, their natures, their performed faculties to monstrous quality, why, you shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warning into some monstrous state. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night, a man no mightier than thyself or me in personal action, yet prodigious grown, and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is.
They say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king, and he shall wear his crown by sea and land, in every place save here in Italy.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, you gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, you gods, you tyrants do defeat. If I know this, know all the world besides, that part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the panel to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheeps. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire begin it with weak straws. What trash is Rome, what rubbish, what offal, when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar? But oh grief, where hast thou led me? Perhaps I speak this before a willing bondman? Then I know my answer must be made. But I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent.
You speak to Casca, and to such a man that is no fleering telltale. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now know you, CASCA, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence. And I do know by this they stay for me in Pompey's porch. For now, this fearful night, there is no stir or walking in the streets, and the complexion of the element in favor is like to the work we have in hand, most bloody, fiery, and most terrible.
Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste.
It is Cinna. I do know him by his gait. He is a friend's. Cinna, what haste you? Where haste you, sir?
To find out you. Who's that? Medalist Kimber?
No, it's CASCA, one incorporate into our attempts. Am I not stayed for, Cinna?
I'm glad on it. What a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights.
Am I not stayed for? Tell me.
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content. Good Cinna, take this paper and look you lay it in the praetor's chair, where Brutus may find it. And throw this in at his window. Set this up with wax upon Brutus' statue. All this done, repair to Pompey's porch, where you shall find us in Decius Brutus and... where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there?
All but Medalist Kimber, and he's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie and so bestow these papers as you bade me.
That done, repair to Pompey's theater. Come, CASCA, you and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him are ours already, and the main entire upon the next encounter yields him ours.
Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
Him and his worth, and our great need of him, you have right well conceded. Let us go, for it is after midnight, and ere day we will awake him and be sure of him.
What, Lucius ho? Cannot by the progress of stars give guests how near today. Lucius, I say. I would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? Awake, I say. What, Lucius?
Called you, my lord.
Get me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it is lighted, come and call me here.
I will, my lord.
It must be by his death, and for my part I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general. He would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him that, and then I grant we put a sting in him, that at his danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power, and to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affection swayed more than his reason. But 'tis a common proof that loneliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may. Then lest he may prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is augmented would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would as his kind grow mischievous and kill him in the shell.
The taper burneth in your closet, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper thus sealed up, and I'm sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed again. It is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March?
I know not, sir.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
The exhalations whizzing in the air give so much light that I may read by them. Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome speak, strike, redress? Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake. Such instigations have oft been dropped where I took them up. Shall Rome, etc. Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What, Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome, the Tarquin Drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? Rome, I make thee promise. If the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
Sir, March is wasted 15 days.
'Tis good. Go to the gate. Somebody knocks. Since Cassius first did what wet me against Caesar, I had not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasm or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door, who doth desire to meet you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with him.
Do you know them?
No, sir, their hats are plucked about their ears and half their faces buried in their cloaks. That by no means I may discover them by any mark or favor.
Let him enter. They are the faction. Conspiracy, shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow, my knight, when evils are most free. Oh, then by day where thou wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage, seek none conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability, for if thou path thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention.
I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you?
Yes, every man of them. And no man here but honors you, and every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself which every noble Roman bears of you.
They are all welcome. What watchful cares do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and the night?
Shall I entreat a word?
Here lies the east. Doth not the day break there?
No.
Oh, pardon, sir, it doth. And yon great lines that fret the clouds are messengers of day.
You shall confess that you are both deceived. Here, as I point my sword, the sun arises, which is a great way growing on the south, weighing the youthful season of the year, some 2 months hence, up higher towards the north. He first presents his fire, and the high east stands as the capital directly here.
Give me your hands all over, one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the time's abuse, if these motives be weak, break off betimes, and every man hints to his idle bent. So let high-sided tyranny range on till each man drop by lottery. But if these, as I'm sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards and steal with valor the melting spirits of women, then countrymen, what need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans that have spoke the word and will not palter? And what other oath than honesty to honesty engaged, that this shall be, or we will fall for it? Swear, priests and cowards and men caudeless, old feeble carrions, and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs. Unto bad causes swear, such creatures as men doubt, but do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits. To think that our cause or our performance did need an oath, when every drop of blood that every Roman bears and nobly bears is guilty of a several bastardy if he do break the smallest particle of any promise that had passed from him.
But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us.
Let us not leave him out.
No, by all means.
Oh, let us have him, for his silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion, and buy men's voices to commend our deeds. It shall be said his judgment ruled our hands. Our youths and wildness shall no whit appear, but all be buried in his gravity.
Name him not. Let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin.
And leave him out.
Indeed, he is not fit.
Shall no man else be touched, but only Caesar?
Decius well urged. I think it is most meet Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means, if he improves them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs, like wrath in death and envy afterwards. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let's be sacrificers, but not butchers, Cassius. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar. In the spirit of men there is no but. Oh, that we could come by Caesar's spirit and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's headed off.
For yet I fear him, for in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself. Take thought and die for Caesar. And that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and much company.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter.
Peace. Count the clock.
The clock hath struck 3.
'Tis time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for he is superstitious grown of late, and maybe these apparent prodigies of unaccustomed terror of this night and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can o'ersway him, for he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, and elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But then I tell him he hates flatterers, and he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work, for I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him.
By the 8th hour, is that the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
Caius Ligarius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him.
Now, good Metellus, go along by him. He loves me well, and I have given him reasons. Send him but hither, and I'll fashion him.
The morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus, and friends. Disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it, as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so, good morrow to you, every one. Boy, Lucius, fast asleep? It is no matter. Enjoy the honey-heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures, nor fantasies, which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore thou sleepst so sound.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak conditions the raw cold morning.
Not for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed, and yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across, and when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further. Then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with an angry wafture of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it was but an effect of humor, which sometime hath his hour with every man. It will not let you talk, nor eat, nor sleep, and could it work so much upon your shape, as it had much prevailed on your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so I do. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of a dank morning? What? Is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed, dare the vile contagion of the night, and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you, by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had resort to you. For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself but, as it were, in sort or limitation to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then should I know this secret? I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience, and not my husband's secrets?
Oh, you gods. Render me worthy of this noble wife. Hark, hark. One knocks. Portia go in a while, and by the by, thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, and all the character of my sad brows, and lead me with haste. Lucius, who's that knocks?
Here's a sick man that would speak with you.
Caius Ligarius, that Metella spoke of. Boys, stand aside. Caius Ligarius, how?
Vouchsafe good morrow from a feeble tongue.
Well, what a time you have chose out, brave Caius, to wear a kerchief. Would you were not sick.
I am not sick, if Brutus have in hand any exploit worthy the name of honor.
Such an exploit I have I hand, Ligarius, had you a healthful ear to hear of it.
By all the gods that Romans bow before, I here discard my sickness. Soul of Rome, brave son derived from honorable loins, thou like an exorcist hast conjured up my mortified spirit. Now bid me run, and I will strive with things impossible. Yes, get the better of them. What's to do?
A piece of work that will make sick men whole.
But are not some whole that we must make sick?
That we must also. What is it, my Caius? I shall unfold to thee as we are going, to whom it must be done.
Sit on your foot, and with a heart new fired I follow you, to do I know not what, but it sufficeth that Brutus leads me on.
Follow me then.
Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, "Help, ho, they murder Caesar!" Who's within?
My lord.
Go bid the priests do present sacrifice and bring me their opinion of success.
I will, my lord.
What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall forth. The things that threaten me ne'er looked but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons in right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided, whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. What say the augurers?
They would not have you to stir forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they find a heart within the beast.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart. If he should stay at home today for fear, no, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day, and I the elder and more terrible. And Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say, you are not well today. Let me upon my knee prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. Here's Decius Brutus, he shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar, I come to fetch you to the Senate house.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arms so far to be afeard to tell graybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know, Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which like a fountain with 100 spouts did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent, and on her knee hath begged that I will stay at home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
And this way have you well expounded it.
I have, when you have heard what I can say. And know it now. The Senate have concluded to give you this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word that you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till some other time, when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear love to your proceeding bids me tell you this, and reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia? I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go. And look where Publius is come to fetch me.
Good morrow, Caesar.
Welcome, Publius. What, Brutus, are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Casca, Caius Ligarius. Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy, as that same ague with hath made you lean. What is 'o'clock?
Caesar, 'tis struck an 8.
I thank you for your pains and courtesy. See, Antony that revels long a nights is not withstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
Oh, so too, most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Now Cinna, now Metellus, what Trebonius? I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me, that I may remember you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that your best friends shall wish I had been further.
Good friends, go on and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
That every like is not the same, O Caesar. The heart of Brutus earns to think upon.
Caesar, beware of Brutus, take heed of Cassius, come near not Casca, have an eye on Cinna, trust not Trebonius, mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not, thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou be'st not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. Here will I stand till Caesar pass along. And as a suitor will I give him this, my heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayst live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
I prithee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay?
To know my errand, madam.
I would have had thee there and here again, ere I can tell thee what thou shouldst do there. O constancy, be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and tongue. I've a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard it is for women to keep counsel. Art thou here yet?
Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital and nothing else? And so return to you and nothing else?
Yes. Bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well, for he went sickly forth. And take good note what Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. Hark, boy, what noise is that?
I hear no noise, madam.
Prithee, listen well. I heard a bustling rumor like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital.
Sooth, madam, I hear nothing.
Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been?
At mine own house, good lady.
What is it o'clock?
About the 9th hour, lady.
Is Caesar yet gone to the capital?
Madam, not yet. I go to take my stand to see him pass on to the capital.
Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not?
That I have, lady. If it will please Caesar to be so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself.
Why, knowest thou any harms intended towards him?
None that I know will be, much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you. Here the street is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar at the heels of senators, of praetors, common suitors, will crowd a feeble man almost to death. I'll get me to a place more void, and there speak to great Caesar as he comes along.
O Brutus, heaven speed thee in thine enterprise. Sure the boy heard me. Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. Say I am merry. Come to me again, and bring me word what he doth say to thee.
The Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Hail, Caesar, read this schedule.
Trebonius doth desire you o'erread at your best leisure this his humble suit.
Oh, Caesar, read mine first, for mine's a suit that touches Caesar near. Read it, great Caesar.
What touches us ourself shall be last served.
Delay not, Caesar, read it instantly.
What, is this fellow mad?
What, urge you your petitions in the street? Come to the capital.
I wish your enterprise today may thrive.
What enterprise, Popilius?
Fare you well.
What said Popilius, Lena?
He wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered.
Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him.
Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar shall never turn back, for I will slay myself.
Cassius, be constant. Popilius, Lena, speaks not of our purposes. For look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change.
Trebonius knows his time, for look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat a humble heart.
I must prevent thee, Kimber. These couching and these lowly curtsies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first decree into law of children. Be not fond, Cimber, is to think Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thawed from the true quality, with that which melteth fools. I mean sweet words, low crooked curtsies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied.
Is there no voice more worthy than mine own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand. but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Semper may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar. Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall, and beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine. But there is but one in all that doth hold his place. So in the world 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one, that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaked of motions, and that I am he. Let me a little show it, even in this, that I was constant, Cimber should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so.
O Caesar!
Hence, wilt thou lift up Olympus? Does
Great
not Brutus,
Caesar.
bootless kneel?
Speak, hands, for me!
Et tu, Brute?
Liberty! Freedom! Tyranny is dead! Run hence, proclaim it about, cry about the streets!
Come to the common pulpits and cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement!
People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And I will too.
Stand fast together, lest some friend of Caesar should chance.
Talk not of standing. Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person, nor to no Roman else. So tell them, Publius.
And leave us, Publius, lest that the people rushing on us should do your age some mischief.
Do so, and let no man abide this deed but we, the doers.
Where is Antony?
Fled to his house amazed. Men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run as if it were doomsday.
Fates, we know your pleasures. That we shall die, we know. 'Tis but the time, and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Grant that, and then is death a benefit. So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged his time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows and to smear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons o'er our heads, let us all cry, peace, freedom, and liberty.
Stoop then and wash. How many ages hence shall this, our lofty scene, be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown?
How many times shall Caesar bleed in sports, that now in Pompey's dais lies along no worthier than the dust?
So oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty. And every man away, Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Soft, who comes here? A friend of Antony's.
Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus and I honor him. Say, I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him and be resolved how Caesar doth deserve to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrod state with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
Thy master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him, so please him, come unto this place. He shall be satisfied, and by my honor depart untouched.
I'll fetch him presently.
I know that we shall have him well to friend.
I wish we may, but yet I have a mind that fears him much, and my misgivings still fall shrewdly to the purpose.
But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
Almighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils sunk to such little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death's hour, no nor instrument of half that worth as those your swords made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech you, if you bear me hard. Now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure, live 1,000 years. I shall not find myself so apt to die. No place will please me so, no mean of death is here by Caesar, and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age.
Antony, beg not your death of us. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands, and this our present act, you see we do, yet see you but our hands, and this the bleeding business they have done? Our hearts you see not. They're pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome, as fire drives out fire, so pity hath done the deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony. Our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts a brother's temper do receive you in with all kind love, good thoughts, and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude, beside themselves with fear, and then we will deliver you the cause why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, had thus proceeded.
Oh, I doubt not your wisdom. Let each man here render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus will I shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius do I take your hand. Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours, Metellus, yours, Cinna, and my valiant Casca, yours. Though last, not least in love, yours, good Trebonius, gentlemen all. Alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. That I did love thee, Caesar, oh, 'tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death to see Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, oh, most noble, in the presence of thy corpse? Had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it will come to me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Oh, pardon me, Julius. Here wast thou bade, brave heart. Here didst thou fall, and here thy hunter stands, signed in thy spoil and crimson in thy leaf. O world, thou wast the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. How like a deer strucken, and by many princes dost thou here lie.
Mark Antony!
Pardon me, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar shall say this, that in a friend it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so. But what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked in number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you?
Oh, therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends I am with you all, and love you all upon this hope, that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else were this a savage spectacle. Our reasons are so full of good regard that were you, Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I seek, and am moreover suitor that I may be produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit as becomes a friend, speak in order at the funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak at his funeral? Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter?
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission, and that we are contented Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than do us wrong.
I know not what may fall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, here. Take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission, else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral. And you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I'm going after my speech is ended.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruin of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed his costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of thy tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war. All pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit ranging for revenge. With Ate by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war. That this foul deed shall smell above the earth with carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters in his coming, and bid me say to you by word of mouth, oh, Caesar.
Thy heart is big. Get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching, for mine eyes seeing those beads of sorrow stand in nine begin to water. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a morning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius yet. Hie hence and tell him so, yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this corpse into the marketplace. There shall I try in my oration how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which thou shalt discourse to young Octavius of the state of things. Lend me your hand.
Romans, countrymen and lovers, hear me for my cause and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus' love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves than that Caesar were dead, to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any speak, for him have I offended. I pause for reply.
None, Brutus, none.
None.
Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not. With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I had the same dagger for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus.
Brutus, live! Live, Brutus!
Live!
Good countrymen, let me depart alone. And for my sake, stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoke.
We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up.
For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you.
What does he say of Brutus?
He says for Brutus' sake he finds himself beholding to us all. Shh!
Peace. Let us hear what Antony can say.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. And the evil that men do lives after them, and the good is often interred within their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered for it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak at Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. He has brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish peace, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin here with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
He thinks there is much reason in his sayings.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
Now mark him, he begins again to speak.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I'd rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. But here is a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read, and they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds and dip their napkins in his sacred blood. Yea, beg a hair of him for memory, and dying mention it within their wills, bequeathing it a rich legacy unto their issue.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
Have patience,
Read
gentle
it.
friends. I must not read it. It does not make you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men, hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you. It will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not what that you are his heirs, for if you should, oh, what will come of it?
You shall read us the will, Caesar's will.
Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have o'ershot myself to tell you of it. I fear I have wronged the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
Ah, they were villains, murderers. The will, read the will.
Read the will.
Read the will.
You will compel me then to read the will. Then make a ring around the corpse of Caesar and let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend? And will you give me leave?
Come down.
Come down.
Come down. Come down.
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. 'Twas on a summer's evening in his tent, the day he overcame the Nervii. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed as he plucked his cursed steel away. Mark how the blood of Caesar followed it. And rushing out of doors to be so resolved, the Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For when the noble Caesar saw him stabbed, ingratitude, more strong than traitor's arms, quite vanquished him. Then burst his mighty heart. And even in the mantle muffling up his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue, which all the while ran blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen. Then I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops, kind souls. What, weep you when you look, behold, on our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here. Here he is himself, marred as you see by traitors.
Oh, piteous spectacle.
We will be revenged.
Revenge.
Revenge.
Peace there.
Stay, countrymen.
Antony.
We'll hear him. We'll follow him. We'll die with him.
Oh, good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They say they have done this deed as honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not. That made them do it. They are wise and honorable, and I will no doubt with reasons answer you. I come not, friends, to steal you away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is. But as you know me all, a plain, blunt man that loved my friend, and that they know full well that they gave me public leave to speak of him, for I have neither wit nor words nor worth, action nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do not know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise in mutiny.
We'll burn the house of Brutus.
Away then, come, seek the conspirators.
Yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak. Why, friends, you go to do you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then, you have forgot the will I told you of.
Most true, the will.
The will.
Hear the will.
Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal to every Roman citizen he gives to every several men 75 drachmae.
Oh, royal Caesar.
And hear me with patience. Moreover, he hath left you all of his walks, his private arbors and new planted orchards. On this side Tiber he hath left them you, and to your heirs forever, common pleasures to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. Where comes another?
Never.
Never.
Away. We'll burn the body of this holy place, and with the brands fire the traitors' houses. Take up the body.
Go, fetch fire.
Now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt. How now, fellow?
Sir, Octavius has already come to Rome.
Where is he?
He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
And thither will I straight to visit him. Here comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and in this mood will give us anything.
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unluckily charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Are you a married man or a bachelor? Answer every man directly.
What is my name? Whither am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or a bachelor? Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly, wisely I say, I'm a bachelor.
That's as much as to say they are fools that marry. You'll bear me for a bang for that. I fear. Proceed directly.
Directly, I'm going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
That matter is answered directly. For your dwelling, briefly.
Briefly, I dwell by the Capitol.
Your name, sir, truly.
Truly, my name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces. He's a conspirator.
Tear him to pieces.
I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet.
Tear him for his bad verses.
I am not Cinna the conspirator.
It is no matter. His name's Cinna. Pluck but his name out of his heart and turn him going.
Tear him.
Tear him.
Burn his house and some to Damascus, some to Ligarius. Away, go.
These many then shall die. Their names are pricked.
Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus?
I do consent.
Prick him down, Antony.
Upon condition POPILIUS shall not live. Who is your sister's son, Mark Antony?
He shall not live. Look, with a spot I damn him. But Lepidus, go you to Caesar's house. Fetch the will hither, and we shall determine how to cut off some charge and legacies.
What? Shall I find you here?
Or here, or at the Capitol.
This is a sight, unmeritable man. Meet to be sent on errands. It is fit, the threefold world divided. He should stand one of the three to share it?
So you thought him and took his voice, who should be pricked to die in our black sentence and prescription.
Octavius, I have seen more days than you, and though we lay these honors on this man to ease ourselves of diverse slanderous loads, he shall but bear them as an ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven as we point the way. And having brought our treasure where we will, then we take down his load and turn him off, like to the empty ass to shake his ears in grazen commons.
You may do your will, but he's a tried and valiant soldier.
Well, so is my horse, Octavius, and for that I do appoint him store and provender. It is a creature that I teach to fight, to wind, to stop, to run directly on, his corporal motion governed by my spirit. And in some taste is Lepidus but so. He must be taught and trained and bid go forth. Do not talk of him but as property. Now, Octavius, listen, great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head. Therefore, let our alliance be combined. Our best friends made, our means stretched, and let us presently go sit in council. How covert matters may be best disclosed, and open perils surest answered.
Stand ho.
Give the word, ho, and stand.
What now, Lucilius? Is Cassius near?
He is at hand, and Epidus has come to do you salutation from his master.
He greets me well. Your master Epidus in his own change, or by ill officers, hath given me some worthy cause to wish things done undone. But if he be at hand, I shall be satisfied.
I do not doubt but that my noble master will appear such as he is, full of regard and honor.
He is not doubted. A word, Lucilius. How he received you, let me be resolved.
With courtesy and with respect enough, but not with such familiar instances, nor with such free and friendly conference as he hath used of old.
Thou hast described a hot friend cooling. Ever note, Lucilius, when love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an enforced ceremony. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith, but hollow men like horses hot at hand make gallant show and promise of their mettle. But when they should endure the bloody spur, they fall their crests, and like deceitful jades sink in the trial. Comes his army on?
They mean this night in Sardis to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are come with Cassius.
Hark! He's arrived. March gently on to meet him.
Most noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemies? And if not so, how shall I wrong a brother?
Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do them...
Cassius, be content. Speak your griefs softly, I do know you well. Before the eyes of both our armies here, which should perceive nothing but love from us, let us not wrangle. Bid them move away, then in my tent, Cassius, enlarge your griefs, and I will give you audience.
Bid our commanders lead their charges off a little from this ground.
Lucius, do you the like, and let no man come to our tent till we have done our conference. Let Lucilius and Titinius guard our door.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned me and loaded Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardinians, wherein my letters praying on his side because I knew the man was slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
In such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm to sell and mark your offices for gold on deservers.
I, an itching palm! You know that you are Brutus that speaks this, or by the gods, this speech or else your last.
The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement.
Remember March. The Ides of March, remember? Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab, and not for justice? What, shall one of us that struck the foremost man of all this world but supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes, and sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I'd rather be a dog, and bay the moon, than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier. I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
Go to. You are not Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Urge me no more. I shall forget myself and have mind upon your Have mind upon your health. Tempt me no further.
Away, slight man. Must I give way and room to your rash caller? Shall I be frighted when a madman stares?
Oh, you gods! Must I endure all this?
All this? Aye, more. Fret till your proud heart break. Go, show your slaves how choleric you are, and make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? Oh, by the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen, though it do split you. For from this day forth, I'll use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter when you are waspish.
Is it come to this?
You say you are a better soldier, let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and it shall please me well. For mine own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men.
You wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I said an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better?
Did I care not?
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats, for I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did sin to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart and drop of blood for drachmas than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did sin to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts, dash them to pieces.
I denied you not.
You did.
I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath revived my heart. A friend should his friends bear his friends' infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye could never see such faults.
Flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony and young Octavius, come! Revenge yourself alone on Cassius, for Cassius is weary of this world. Hated by the one he loves, oh, I could weep my spirit from my eyes. There's my dagger, where's my dagger? There's my dagger! And here, my naked breast, strike as thou didst at Caesar, for I know when thou didst hate him worse, thou lovest him better than ever thou lovest Cassius.
Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will, it shall have scope. Do what you will, dishonor shall be humor. Oh, Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who much enforced shows a hasty spark and straight is cold again.
Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him?
I spoke that I was ill-tempered too.
Do you confess so much? Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
Oh, Brutus.
What's the matter?
Have not you enough to bear with me when that rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful?
Yes, Cassius, and from henceforth when you are over-earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides and leave you so. Lucius, a bowl of wine.
I did not think you could have been so angry.
Cassius, I am sick of many griefs.
Of your philosophy you make no use if you give place to accidental evils.
No man bears sorrow better. Portia's dead.
Huh? Portia?
She is dead.
How scaped I killing when I crossed you so? Oh, insupportable and touching loss! Upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence, and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong. For with her death the tidings came. With this she fell distracted, and her attendants absent swallowed fire.
And died so?
Even so.
Oh, you immortal gods!
Speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of wine. In this I bury all unkindness, Cassius.
My heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. Fill, Lucius! Fill to the wine or swell the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus' love.
Come in, Dardanius. Welcome, good MESSALA. Now, sit we close about this taper here and call in question our necessities.
Portia, art thou gone?
No more, I pray you. MESSALA, I've here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi.
Myself have letters of the same self-tenor.
With what addition?
That by proscription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators.
Therein our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 70 senators that died by their prescription, Cicero being one.
Cicero one?
Cicero is dead, and by that order of proscription.
Well, to our work alive, what do you think of marching to Philippi presently?
I do not think it good.
Your reason?
That it is. 'Tis better that the enemy seek us. So shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offence, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defence, and nimbleness.
Good reasons must of force give place to better. The people twixt Philippi and this ground do stand but in a forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution. The enemy, marching along by them shall make a fuller number up. Come on refreshed, new added, and encouraged, from which advantage shall we cut them off? If at Philippi we do face them there, these people at our back.
Hear me, good brother.
Under your pardon, you must note besides that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brim full, our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day. We at the height are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Amid it all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves or lose our ventures.
Then, with your will, go on. We'll along ourselves and meet them at Philippi. Early tomorrow we will rise in hence.
Farewell, good MESSALA. Good night, Titinius, noble CASSIUS. Good night, and good repose.
Oh, my dear brother, this were an ill beginning of the night. Never come such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything is well.
Good night, my lord.
Good night, good brother.
Good
night,
night,
Lord Brutus.
Farewell, everyone. Who comes here? Think it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god? Some angel, some devil that makes my blood cold and my hair to stare? Speak to me what thou art.
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee, thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again.
Aye, at Philippi.
Why? I will see thee at Philippi then.
Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would not come down, but keep the hills and upper regions. It proves not so. Their battles are at hand. They mean to warn us at Philippi here, answering before we do demand of them.
Tut, I am in their bosoms, and I know wherefore they do it. They should be content to visit other places and come down with fearful bravery, thinking by this face to fasten in our thoughts that they have courage. 'Tis not so. Octavius, lead your battle softly on upon the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand, I keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me in this exigent?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
They stand and would have parley.
Stand fast, Antinius. We must out and talk.
Word for 4 blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words better, as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
Well, in your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you have made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live, hail Caesar!"
Antony, the posture of your blows are yet unknown, but for your words, they rob the hible of bees and leave them honeyless.
Not stingless, too.
Oh yes, and soundless too, for you have stolen their buzzing, Antony, and very wisely threat before you sting.
Villains, you did not so when your vile daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar. You showed your teeth like apes and fawned like hounds, and bowed like bondmen, kissing Caesar's feet, whilst damn CASCA like a cur behind struck Caesar on the neck. Oh, you flatterers.
Flatterers? Now, Brutus, think yourself. This tongue had not offended so today if Cassius might have ruled.
Come! The cause! If arguing makes us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that the sword goes up again? Never, till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged, or till another Caesar have added slaughter to the swords of traitors.
Caesar, thou canst not die by traitors' hands, unless thou bringst them with thee.
So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus's sword.
Oh, if thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honorable.
A peevish schoolboy, Worthless of such honor, joined with a masker and a reveler.
Come, Antony, away. Defiant traitors, hurl we in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs.
Why now, blow, wind, swell, billow, and swim, bark! The storm is up, and all is on hazard.
Ho, Lucilius, hark! A word with you.
My lord.
MESSALA,
What says my general?
MESSALA, this is my birthday, as this very day was CASSIUS born. Give me thy hand, MESSALA. Be thou my witness that against my will, as Pompey was, I am compelled to set upon one battle all our liberties. Coming from Sardis, on our former ensign, 2 mighty eagles fell, and there they perched, gorging and feeding from our soldiers' hands, who, to Philippi, here consorted us. This morning they are fled, away and gone, and in their steads do ravens, crows, and kites fly over our heads and downward look on us as we were sickly prey. Their shadows seem a canopy most fatal, under which our army lies, ready to give up the ghost.
Not so.
I but believe it partly, for I am fresh of spirit and resolved to meet all perils very constantly.
Even so, Lucilius.
Now, most noble Brutus, the gods today stand friendly that we may, lovers in peace, lead on our days to age. But since the affairs of men rest still uncertain, let's reason with the worst that may befall. If we do lose this battle, then it is the very last time we shall speak together. What are you then determined to do?
Even by that rule of philosophy by which I did blame Cato for the death which he did give himself, I know not how, but I do find it cowardly and vile, for fear of what might fall, so to prevent the time of life, arming myself with patience to say the providence of some high powers that govern us below.
Then if we lose this battle, you are contented to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome?
No, Cassius, no. Think not, thou noble Roman, that ever Brutus will go bound to Rome. He bears too great a mind, but this same day must end that work the Ides of March begun. And whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore, our everlasting farewell take. Forever and forever farewell, Cassius. If we do meet again, why, we shall smile. If not, why then this parting was well made.
Forever and forever farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile indeed. If not, 'tis true, this parting was well made.
Why then lead on. Oh, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere it come. But it suffices that the day will end, and this, then the end is known. Come, ho, away.
O Cassius, Brutus gave the word too early, who having some advantage on Octavius took it too eagerly. His soldiers fell to spoil while we by Antony are all enclosed.
Fly further off, my lord, fly further off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Fly, therefore, noble Cassius, fly far off.
This hill is far enough. Look, Titinius. Are those my tents where I perceive the fire?
They are, my lord.
Titinius, if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse and hide thy spurs in him till he hath brought thee to yonder troops and here again, and that I may rest assured whether yon troops are friend or enemy.
I will be here again even with a thought.
Go, Pindarus, get you on that hill. My sight was ever thick. Regard, Titinius, and tell me what thou knowest about the field. This day I breathed first. Time has come around, and where I did begin, there shall I end. My life is run his compass. Sirrah, what news?
Oh, my lord!
What news?
Titinius is enclosed round about with horsemen that make to him on the spur.
Does he spur on? Come down, behold no more. Oh, coward that I am to live so long, to see my best friend taken before my face. Come hither, Sirrah. In Parthia did I take thee prisoner, and then I swore thee, saving of thy life, that whatsoever I did bid thee do, that thou shouldst attempt it. Now Come now, keep thine oath. Now, be a free man with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels. Search this bosom. Stand not to answer. Here, take thou the hilts, and when my face is covered as 'tis now, guide thou the sword. Oh, Caesar, thou art revenged, even with the sword that killed thee.
So I am free, yet would not so have been. Just I have done my will. O Cassius, far from this country Pindorus shall run, where never Roman shall take note of him.
It is but change to Tinius, for Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus's power, as Cassius' legions are by Antony.
These tidings will well comfort Cassius.
Where did you leave him?
All disconsolate, with Pindorus his bondman on the hill.
Not that he that lies upon the ground.
He lies not like the living. Oh, my heart.
Not that he?
No, this was he, Messala. But Cassius is no more. Oh, setting sun, as in thy red rays thou dost sink tonight, so in his red blood Cassius's day is set. The sun of Rome is set. Our day is gone. Clouds, dews, and dangers come, our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed. What, Pindorus? Where art thou, Pindorus?
Seek him, Titinius, whilst I go to meet the noble Brutus, thrusting this report into his ears. I may say thrusting it, for piercing steel and darts and venomed shall be as welcome to the ears of Brutus as tidings of this sight.
Hie you, Messala, and I will seek for Pindorus the while. Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? And did not they put on my brows this wreath of victory and bid me give it thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. But hold thee, take this garland on thy brow. Thy Brutus bid me give it thee, and I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace, and see how I regarded Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius's sword, and find Titinius's heart.
Where, Messala, doth this body lie?
Oh, yonder, and Titinius mourning it.
Titinius' face is upward.
He is slain.
Oh, Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad and turns our swords in our own proper entrails.
Brave Titinius, look where he have not crowned dead Cassius.
Are yet 2 Romans living such as these? The last of all the Romans, fare thee well. It is impossible that ever Rome should breed thy fellow. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius, I shall find time. Come, therefore, and to Thassos send his body. His funeral shall not be in our camp, lest it discomfort us. Lucilius, come. And come, young Cato, let us to the field. Labion Flavius, set our battles on. 'Tis 3 o'clock, and Romans, yet ere night we shall try fortune in a second fight. Yet, countrymen, oh, yet hold up your heads.
What bastard doth not? Who will go with me? I will proclaim my name about the field. I am the son of Marcus Cato, ho, a foe to tyrants and my country's friend. I am the son of Marcus Cato, ho.
And I'm Brutus, Marcus Brutus I. Brutus, my country's friend. Know me for Brutus. Oh, young and noble Cato, art thou down? Why, now thou diest as bravely as Titinius, and may be honored, being Cato's son.
Yield or thou diest.
Only I yield to die. There is so much that thou wilt kill me straight. Kill Brutus and be honored in his death.
We must not, a noble prisoner. Room, hold, tell Antony Brutus is taken. I'll tell the news. Here comes the general. Brutus is taken. Brutus is taken, my lord.
Where is he?
Safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that no enemy shall ever take alive the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from so great a shame. When you do find him, or alive or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself.
This is not Brutus, friend, but I assure you a prize no less than worth. Keep this man safe. Give him all kindness. I'd rather have such men my friends than my enemies. Go on and see where Brutus be alive or dead. And bring us word unto Octavius' tent how everything is chanced.
Come, poor remains of friends, rest on this rock.
Statilius showed the torchlight, but my lord, he came not back. He is ta'en or slain.
Sit thee down, Clitus. Slaying is the word. It is a deed in fashion. Hark thee, Clitus.
What, I, my lord? No, not for the world.
Peace then, no words.
I'd rather kill myself.
Hark thee, Dardanius.
Shall I do such a deed?
Oh, Dardanius.
Oh, Clitus.
What ill request did Brutus make to thee?
To kill him, Clitus. Look, he meditates.
Now is that noble vessel full of grief that it runs over even at his eyes.
Come hither. Good. Volumnius, this is list a word.
What says my lord?
Why this, Volumnius. The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me several times by night, at Sardis once, and this last night here in Philippi fields. I know my hour is come.
Not so, my lord.
Nay, I am sure it is, Volumnius. Thou seest the world, Volumnius, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. It is more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Good Volumnius, thou knowest that we two went to school together. Even for that, our love of old, I prithee, hold thou my sword hilts while I run onto it.
That's not an office for a friend, my lord.
Fly, fly, my lord. There's no tarrying here.
Farewell to you. And you, Volumnius. Strato, thou hast been all this while asleep. Farewell to thee too, Strato. Countrymen, my heart doth joy that yet in all my life I found no man but he was true to me. I shall have glory by this losing day, more than Octavius and Mark Antony by this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once, for Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon my eyes. My bones would rest, that have but labored to attain this hour.
Fly, my lord, fly.
Hence I will follow. I prithee, Strato, stay thou by thy lord. Thou art a fellow of good respect. Thy life hath had some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword, and turn away thy face while I do run upon it. Wilt thou, Strato?
Give me your hand first. Fare you well, my lord.
Farewell, good Strato. Caesar, now be still. I killed thee with half so good a will.
What man is that?
Master's man. Strato, where's thy master?
Free from the bondage you are in, MESSALA. The conquerors can but make a fire of him. For Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death.
So Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius' saying true.
All that serve Brutus, I will entertain them. Fellow, wilt thou bestow thy time with me?
Aye, MESSALA will prefer me to you.
Do so, good MESSALA.
How died my master, Strato?
I held the sword, and he did run on it.
Octavius, then take him to follow thee, that did the latest service to my master.
This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they in envy of great Caesar. He, only in a general honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man.
According to his virtue, let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent, his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier, ordered honorably. So call the field to rest and let's away, depart the glories of this happy day.
Right.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Caesar.
Yay!
Oh, happy day.
We did it.
Shakespeare.
Barely.
Yay.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. That was fun. Next up on our schedule, we are in 2 weeks. We are scheduled to do Much Ado About Nothing.
Woo!
So that should be fun. I just realized I don't know if our tech person's with us. Tiff, if